Creating cards that have that timeless, elegant feel to them are supposed to be really fun to create, but sometimes as a crafter, you just get stuck. You need some creative inspiration. Today, I'm going to share some of my top tips to create those happy, carefree, timeless, elegant cards that will remind you of happy summer days. They'll bring a smile not only to your face, but also to the friends and family that you choose to give this to. And at the very end, we're also going to show you how to line up some tricky stamps and dies. Join me, we'll have some fun learning these techniques together. To get started, we're using the Blossoming Coneflower stamp and die set. Within this set, you get the beautiful long L-shaped coneflower along with this beautiful kind of S-curved one, and that cuts out with the coordinating dies. So what I did is I just stamped and die cut this in black and started just adding some fun colors. So the colors that I'm using to start out with is the Buttercup, and you can go ahead and just add a complete covering of that Buttercup over all those coneflowers. This is a fun flower to use, lots of different color combinations, and I love using the archival inks. Once you've done that first color, I'm switching to the cactus flower and adding a little bit of that center color in there. So you can kind of add that bright pop of color in. Now you'll see that as I add that color, since I did a base color of the yellow, it just kind of automatically starts to blend and make it look like we're using a multicolor, kind of like an ombre effect. So you can do that to each of the flowers. And if you wanted to, you could go back and add a little bit of hints of vibrant fuchsia in there to kind of brighten up the center. But you can have fun playing around with those colors and see how those blend together. I'll go back with just a little bit of the Buttercup and blend that last piece in. You just kind of see how that just starts popping up. So it's kind of mixing together those colors to get kind of that rainbow effect. So we're doing a very similar technique on the leaves using the Vivid Chartreuse archival ink. I'm just going to do a small section of this, but you'll go ahead and add the color of the base to those leaves. And then I'm using the leaf green as that additional accent color for these leaves. So you see how that just starts popping that up, making it look very vibrant. And you'll continue to do that on all the leaves until that is completed. One of the things I wanted to point out with the coneflowers is when you stamp these images, they're a little bit more flexible. So there is a specific type of technique I like to use when I am working with stamps that have a little bit more flexibility when you're layering them on your die. So I could layer this stamp down and actually have it spread out a little bit more so that it doesn't line up with the die. So to make sure that when you stamp images that are supposed to align but they have more flexibility, one thing we kind of just like do this type of motion with it, put it down on our block, and if you're not confident that it is correctly mounted on your block for stamping, you can take your die, have the blade side down, and just lay it on top and make sure that it's lined up. If this one wouldn't be lined up, that one might be a little bit off to the side. So that's a great way to just double check it, make sure that that is in alignment with your stamped image. So let's go ahead and stamp this one, and you can see how that turns out. So if at any point in time you have stamps and dies that are a little bit flexible when you mount them to your acrylic block, just use that technique and it's easy peasy for you to line that up to cut it out. So then you can just drop that die right on top and it is perfecto for die cutting it out. Before we add these flowers to the card, we want to add a little bit of shaping and dimension to them. So I'm using the 6mm tip with my stylus and just kind of going in a circular motion at the base of these flowers. So these flowers are very simple to shape. The harder you press, the more dimension you are going to achieve with them. But just do that gentle circular motion. You can also kind of follow the pattern of the leaves to get a little bit of dimension on those leaves to just pop them up. So this is definitely more of a wildflower when you're creating with it. So I like to have a kind of free-flowing, carefree type of style when you're shaping them. I'll just flip this stamp side up and then just kind of do one little twist right by the top where that little cone is. So you'll do that to each one of those flowers. And you could always trim this off and do a double layer of these if you wanted to. So once you're finished, we also have these little wildflowers that I like to add in as accents. So we're going to add these to the card. So I took my card base. You can cut it to whichever size you want. You could do A2, 5x7. And I added the layers from the Frame a Card die series. So that creates our base. Now all we need to do is just add our flowers to the background. So you can see how easily this flower just fits around an opening. You can put the scene on the inside. Just add a little layers of glue on the back. And you're ready to add that to your card. And then if you wanted to take it to the next level, this is where I say you are planting some wildflowers. You can take these sprays. I have two different pieces. They're very intricate and delicate. They come from the Backyard Blossoms stamp and die set. These are the pieces that we use as scene builders. So you can go ahead and cut these into little pieces, maybe in 2 to 3 sections, whichever you prefer, and plant these little wildflowers to your card. So we'll do this to both of them, and we'll just use a couple sections, and you could finish it off however you prefer. We'll add a little bit of glue to the back here, and then let's tuck one in up in here, and you see how beautifully that just accents it very quickly. So I always love those little fillers that make it look a little bit more realistic and a little bit more like that fun bouquet that you're looking for. So you just continue that until you have that finished card. Add your sentiment and your glitters, and you have the perfect card for a friend. There are so many fun ways to use the background blossom stamps and dies. Within this collection, you'll have the Blossoming Coneflower Stamp and Die set. And here are some more ways that we've used these. So here is that L, just you can do it around the corner of a card. And you see how beautiful that looks with some of the redlands elements in the center, glitter up that coneflower. Here's another version of that one with a little wildflower, some lilacs paired in there, some of the big and large coneflowers, and paired with the Frame a Card dies. Now, any of these card samples will be on the blog and on the website with written instructions if you're like, hey, Emmylou, how was this one done? So here we've got that just classic design on the edge up here, pairing it with that frame. Here's another one that I absolutely love. I love how we use the flower on the edge and just continue to go around that oval using a fancy fold card base. Isn't that stunning? There's another set in this one that we just saw, which is the Backyard Blossoms. Think of this set as your scene building set. So this is the one that you'll use to plant those little backyard blossoms, your little wildflowers. So here you'll see a grouping of the tinier ones on an A2 card with the It's Your Birthday. Here's some more just paired with the fence as on a large tag. I also love how that's paired with the gift box around the edges, perfect size. So we have included different sizes that you can use these to really create a beautiful garden edge border. Here's another one with that same gift box. This is from the Heartfelt Love collection. How pretty is this? Some more fancy ways that you can use these. You can use these coneflowers multi-layer. Here's some black elements in the center. Pair this with a sun-kissed fleur for a really fun card. Here's another one with a Frame a Card dies. How pretty is that? So lots of scene building techniques with these. With this set, you also have the Garden's Edge coneflower. This has the little mini coneflower, some more of those wildflowers, and that frame that I was showing earlier. Within these, you can pair them with previous collections with your butterflies and use it on vellum for those beautiful, beautiful cards. Another one that I wanted to show, if you love to do those altar projects, look at how those coneflowers just pop up and you can build that scene. Isn't that beautiful? So you can have a lot of fun creating altar projects for your friends, for your family. Here's another one, just beautifully designed. So it kind of looks like that shadow box. Here's one with the fold-out cards, not the fold-out cards, the cards that are more like an album. So that creates a little scene. So with this collection, the papers are absolutely stunning. I can't wait to show you these. This just reminds you of those happy, carefree summer days. So with this one, you've got your card front panels. You've got those little pockets for your albums, little cutouts. So have fun creating with that paper. Have fun creating your own one-of-a-kind cards featuring the backyard blossoms. Experiment with different color combinations that you love. I would like to see what you create. You can share your projects with us on Facebook. If you don't own the backyard blossom projects, stamps, dies yet, I've added the links below for quick and easy ordering. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done that yet so you don't miss out on my next videos. We switched up some new camera angles, so we have it coming down from the top when I'm demoing. I'd love to hear what you like, don't like about the angles. Leave some comments below. Can't wait to hear from you.